What's up, beautiful people? This is Pretty Girl Love Trap Content. This is my recap slash review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode 2. All aboard the Gaslight Express. Okay, you guys, there's a lot to discuss, a lot to talk about. So let's get into it. Okay, so we start off with Sanya and her lovely family. I love her family at this point. Okay, I love the Jamaican accents. And yeah, they are in the house arguing about beef patties, okay? And I'm like, I understand, okay? The way they feel about beef patties, I feel about oxtails, all right, y'all? So I get the struggle. But yeah, I did not realize, okay? She has 9 people up in this household, okay? She has her husband, her child, her parents, her sister's husband, and her sister's 2 kids. I'm like, how many rooms, how much square feet do we have up in there? Okay, because 9 people, y'all, I really won't guess for too long. Let her know I have 9 people up in my house. Okay, but we gonna see how long that lasts. Okay, because that's a lot of personalities, a lot of grown women's and people's up in there, a lot of personalities. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna pray for them. All right, so they're having a good old cute little time. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next scene. Okay, so we see Sheree and Chateau. Sheree, chef's kiss. Okay, like, I don't know how. I don't like to keep people's pockets and count them, but yeah, I don't know how Sheree pulled this off. But this house is immaculate. Okay, I love her house. Of course, we've seen it before, but I have no complaints. Like, I love everything up in that house. Like, she did an awesome job. She has great taste. So yeah, I am not mad at that at all. Okay, I'm still mad about that sweater dress she wore to eBay. Okay, last episode, but that's probably why she had to be a little frugal with the attire of BK, because the house is costing a pretty penny. All right, so yes, kudos to Sheree. But okay, it's girl time. So Kenya comes over, and yes, she gets to see the finished basement. Okay, because several seasons ago there was a whole controversy about your girl Kenya being unauthorized because the basement was unfinished at the time. So it was cute, full circle moment that Kenya was able to view the basement. Okay, which was like another club, another house. Like, Sheree, like, I'm pretty sure she's gonna be hosting some events, because the housewives, they're required to host a certain amount of events, each season to keep everything going. So I'm like, okay, yeah, she's gonna save some money probably and have everybody in the basement, because it's a whole lounge, like a whole like beauty parlor. I'm like, Sheree, I love it, but I'm like, that's a lot of space for one woman, and we don't know what's going on with this Tyrone fella, but yeah. I guess that will be a come up for him, all right. So they chit chat about the whole LeBay situation, and yeah, they're discussing all the tea, all the shade that Marlo swung Kenya's way, okay. And then, of course, to be even messier, the bone collector, aka Sheree, had to call Sanya, okay, on FaceTime so she can confirm all the shade, talking about Kenya was saying, just Marlo was just giving all the shade, saying that Kenya was staying at a place with a white refrigerator. She was driving Lisa Ray's white Range Rover. I'm like, that can be believable, because Lisa Ray loves the white and what have you. But yeah, Kenya was like, I don't even know Lisa Ray like that. And of course, the shady producers pulls up a photo of Kenya, Sheree, and another woman, but not Kenya, Sheree, Kenya and Lisa Ray. But of course, it could have been just a little event, so it may have not been that deep, but it was kind of cute because some producers be having those receipts. All right, so yeah, your girl Kenya talking about how Marlo gonna be mad at me because she over there getting Bosley hair transplants talking about, yeah, this a chia pet situation. I almost hollered, okay? Your girl, Kenya, like, she probably has to get the Shade Award for me. I'm just saying, out of all the housewives of Atlanta, she gets the award for me, all right? So of course Kenya had a little tea of her own, okay? And she was like, Sheree, well, I heard on the street, okay, that you and your girl, what is her name? What is that child name? Oh yeah, Drew. They share an assistant, okay? So apparently it's a whole mess, y'all. But long story short, Drew's current assistant was an assistant of Sheree, okay? And apparently this assistant was like, yo, Sheree owes me the money, okay? She has not paid all of the invoices, all right? And he's been telling Drew, and Drew told Candy, and of course Candy told Kenya. I'm like, Lord, this is a raggedy game of telephone up in here, but you know how it is with the girls. They get all messy and whatnot, and I guess we love it because we watch it. But yeah, Sheree, she looked a little worried, like, I think I do owe him some money. I'm like, Sheree, you ain't paying the girls. But Sheree was like, I used him occasionally, okay? He was not a full-time employee of mine, all right? So, yeah. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be messy. And this is definitely going to be the start of Drew and Sheree's beef, all right? So, let's buckle up our lovely little seatbelts, all right? And yeah, did y'all peep Kenya's confessional look with the lime green blazer? Like, I love it. The melanin and the blazer, the lime green, like it's all working for me. And the girls are coming through with looks, most of them anyway. So, over here, so called with Drew and the family, all right? And I'm just like, I feel like I'm getting gaslighted. I feel like I'm in this whack behind marriage as well as Drew and Ralph. I'm like, what is going on here? Okay. So, of course, they're at dinner because they're always at dinner, all right? And did y'all peep, like, one of the people in their homes, they was labeled as assistant number 4. I'm like, 4? Like, why do y'all need 4 assistants? What do y'all do? I mean, they mentioned Ralph is in IT. You know, Drew has, been acting previously. I'm not sure if she's doing it currently, but why do y'all need 4 assistants? Now, I could see maybe a nanny, a housekeeper, a chef, people with different roles, but 4 assistants? And then they also have a chef that's not included in the assistant category. Like, what is going on here? Do you guys have a temp agency? Like, make it make sense to me, okay? But if y'all able to pay them, then kudos to y'all, all right? And so one of the most annoying episodes, part of the episode, is when Drew and Ralph, they're at the dinner table, and she brings up how Candy, she did that, FBI work, that full blown Instagram investigation, okay? And she went ahead and found the assistant's IG page. And so Drew was like, yeah, Candy found her page. And he was like, I fired her. I fired her. He tried to nip that in the bud, honey. And she was like, oh, okay. But he pretty much mentions like, oh, they're still talking, and she's like, talking? Well, why y'all? What is there to talk about? Okay, y'all supposed to have a strictly employee, employer, professional situations. But why are y'all talking? Like, and he brings up she's 50, and I'm like, don't you know Ralph 50 is the new 30, not even the new 40. We over there got Halle Berry. We got all these 50-year-olds looking good, okay? So 50 should not mean a thing, all right? Lord, Ralph. Lord, he aggravates me. So, shout out to the producers, okay? So they have this little short story playing about, your boy. Your boy Ralph being a gas lighter, all right? He's over there just, they pulling all the clips from last season, okay? Your boy, I would say he have the gift of gab, but no, he has the gift of confusion because he be confusing the girls with the conversation. He be so confused, like he can't even like justify what he's saying. And I'm like, Ralph, get it together, my boy. Like, Ralph, Ralph. Like, is he the king of the mind F, or is she just dumb? Or is this all fake? Which one is it? A, B, or C because I can't handle it. Like, Drew, like, what is going on here, girl? Like, you cannot possibly be falling for this. Like, is it the, oh, church girl, I gotta keep my man. He's a good man, even though he does this and that? Is it that? Are you naive? Because it can't be his lies, girl. Because the lies, you can see right through them, okay? Like, the lies is glass, okay, at this point. So, and Ralph also had the nerve, was like, I resent you for numerous things. I was like, now you resent her for numerous things? Like, what? Ralph, we gotta move on, y'all. So we see Todd and Candy's little segment. Candy excited because she is a producer of one of these great plays on Broadway. All right, and it's called what is it called, guys? Yes, it is called Thoughts of a Colored Man. And I'm like, oh, that's a great title. So, it gives me like, for Color Girls type vibe. Hopefully, a little better. But, it's getting mixed reviews, but she is happy that, it seems like they're getting some attention. So, yeah, your girl is happy. Candy, kudos to you, girl. You are so ambitious. I definitely love me some Candy, all right? So she's excited. Todd comes in. And apparently he going to Miami, child. And she's saying he's taking multiple vacations by himself throughout the year. And she's like, well, I need to go back and forth to New York for this whole play situation. And so he was like, well, I'm about to be on vacation. She was like, well, I need you to be here to make things flow smoothly, all right? And he was like, well, you be gone for months at a time, baby girl. So what's the issue? So she was like, well, I'll be gone for work. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure she won't be taking that many, leisure vacations, okay? And if she is, probably with the family or her husband, all right? So Todd, what you doing on these vacations, boy? Because he talking about he gonna have fun and hang out. I'm like, all right. But, everything seems pretty good for the most part. They do have some little hiccups. Apparently he has a condo that he shared with an ex, 20 years ago. She low key stuck him for the bill and he had to pay it off. And it's a great condo apparently in New Jersey. And he wants to kind of use it as a little spot, when they go to New York. And I'm like, Candy, come on now. You bought the coin, you bought the savings and the makings, child. So what's the problem? But I kind of understood where she was coming from. She was like, I don't want to be in a situation where you share with no chick. But Todd was like, well, you had a whole house. I'm sure you have history with men up in this house, okay? But I went ahead and laid on this mattress that you probably didn't even flip from you, baby girl. So yeah, come on now. And then when he said it like that, I'm like, well, yeah, Todd, you are making a little sense there, buddy. So yeah, you guys got to figure that out. I'm not really worried because their problems don't seem too serious, but I feel like if they don't address some of the issues they're having, I think they need to kind of figure it out because, it could be a recipe for disaster, especially if we see Mama Joyce back in the picture later on in this season. Poor Todd, okay? So we have Marlo, okay? And baby girl's confessional look with the short do, the bold gold accessories. Yes, I love it, Marlo, okay? But she is going over to the Candy Factory. Candy is doing a little photo shoot for Halloween. And Lord, the makeup. I'm like, how long did you sit in that chair, Candy? Okay. But yeah, her and Marlo, they have a little chit chat. And Marlo was pretty much discussing her concern about, being a mom to, she wants to, make sure that she is not um spoiling pretty much her nephews, because they had a huge lifestyle change and she wants to make sure that they are instilling, the best values in them. And I appreciate that. I understand. I definitely relate to the situation. So yes, I definitely agree with Marla. But Marla was like, Candy, you the only one I be shooting me the cash apps, okay, for the birthdays and whatnot. But yeah, I'm gonna need something a little more tangible, I need some quality time. So invite me over to movie night and you got a big family. We need to see what that looks like. And Candy was like, well, you gotta give and take, boo boo, because yes. You don't invite me in your house either. She was like, you can come anytime. I'm like, Marla. But it's one of those things where, you have friends for different things. So, Marlo's not the, come home, to my house type of situation. So, yeah, it's interesting. But the cameras, the producers flash back how Marlo was shading Candy back in the day, calling her a sugar mama because they have a long history. Marlo used to date Candy's, I believe, god brother or someone close to her. And she said when Marlo came on the show, she started treating her a little different. So I'm like, Marlo, you need to check yourself, okay? If you're trying to have a valuable friendship with Candy, you need to treat her accordingly, okay? But yeah, Candy gave her some good advice. It's like, we shouldn't equate black with the struggle, because Marvel was like, I'm giving these boys a great life, designer labels, but I want to make sure they really instill the great values and, in life. And Candy was like, it's okay to treat your kids as long as you treat them the good values and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, Candy, because it seems like Riley is very smart, very intelligent. She doesn't seem like she's too spoiled, but she is used to the good life. So I think, she did a great job with Riley. She's going to NYU, for God's sake. She could be at home trying to be an influencer, not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it does show that she definitely wants to make her own money and be successful in her own right. And I think she is actually going to be interning at a record label shortly. They did mention when she had a speak on it. So kudos to you, Riley, all right? So yes, dropping with Drew, okay? Drew, Ralph, and the gang, Lord, they so-called exercise. And I'm like, fast forward me, please, okay? I do not want to see any of this dropping with Drew, this whole collaboration with her and this weight loss situation. I'm not feeling it at all. Like, I don't know. I'm just annoyed with Drew. So yeah, I'm annoyed. But Ralph, he ends up telling her like, "Hey, baby girl. So yes, I planned something special. So yeah, mark off your calendar. And yeah, I got something, sweet for you." And she was like, "Well, are we gonna really address our issues?" And I'm like, Drew, make up your mind. Make up your mind. You want to be with this man or not? Okay. I mean, I know she does. They just have a lot of issues, all right. But she goes along with the plan of dinner, okay? So we see Todd, um, Ross, which is saying his husband, who reminds me of Lance Gross. And yeah, Ralph. And Todd, of course, he got to bring up the drama. And he was like, yeah, I heard about this ass instant that you got, not the assistant, but ass instant, as I call it. And yeah, he was like, I'm tired of talking about it with my wife. What's going on, bruh? So, of course, Ralph, he thinking that these dudes are as gullible as Drew. And they are not. And they are calling him on the BS. And Todd was like, oh, okay. Like, bruh, come on. We supposed to be here. Like, we know better, all right? And I'm like, see, that goes to show all that Ralph, I'm a man type ish don't mean nothing, okay? They see right through the BS. Ralph, you can't BS the BSers, okay? So get it together, boo boo. But they had a good little camaraderie. So I enjoyed the little meals lunch, which was at Blaze. So that was another good plug for Candy, all right? So I am not mad at that. So yeah. Ralph also had the nerve to say, well, she shouldn't have gone through my cell phone anyway. And I'm like, see, Ralph, is that the attitude to have? How long have y'all been together? I think they've been together for at least a decade or so. Like, what is going on with this marriage, bro? Like, I'm so aggravated. Like, they gonna work my nerve in the entire season, okay? And I'm not here for it, all right? So we see Marlo on her mom team duty. She is prepping her oldest nephew for homecoming. She's getting the outfit together. I just love it, okay? Like, I love seeing this part of Marlo, okay? So they're, prepping. She's teaching him how to dance, and, he seems a little shy. So it was a whole cute moment. So I definitely enjoy that. Keep those scenes coming with Marlo because we definitely need to see all that depth. And I just love it. And they also mentioned, her upbringing, and she discussed, she didn't have a lot going up. Her mom was on drugs. She lived in the project. So I definitely appreciate her sharing all that information because it kind of give us some insight on Marlo and maybe, understanding how and why she is what she is. She values, money and the illusion of money as well as dressing nice. So I think she's definitely overcompensating for what she didn't have growing up. So I'm not too mad at it, but I just don't want it to be a situation where that's all she is pretty much valuing at this point. But she's a grown woman, child, so she could do whatever she want. If she like it, I love it. Boom, pow, pow. All right. So y'all, we go to this dinner that I don't even want to be a part of. Okay. So Ralph, he did pretty good in terms of, the setting upness of the date, okay? He had makeup, hair, and wardrobe knocking at the door for your girl Drew, okay? Like she had the whole team waiting for her. And I'm like, yes, Ralph, I love this. If it was genuine, because we know it ain't, because you're trying to cover up what you've been doing with that ass instant, okay? So Drew actually looks good. I mean, it's giving me like Beyonce, like I'm about to, be Sasha Fierce, singing Crazy in Love vibes. Like, it's definitely very performance wear, but it was still cute. She looked very pretty, so I'm not going to hate her, right? And so she meets Ralph at his tailor's, situation, and there's actually a rooftop. So there's this beautiful layout with the flowers and, just the nice table and chair set up, it's like the little bougie wedding, a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really cute, black and white and gold and red decorum. Very romantic, okay? I would appreciate it more if it came from another couple because now that it's Ralph, it's whatever, y'all. So I don't understand. Drew and Ralph cannot have a peaceful meal to save their lives, okay? And the meal's always looking good. Like, I want to come through the TV, like, give me a plate if y'all ain't gonna eat because the meals be looking scrumptious, okay? Because, of course, Drew has to bring up their issues, okay? And my thing is, Drew, you need to figure out how you want to handle your marriage, okay? Because if you knew he was planning something and you're still having these reservations with your marriage, I need you to decline that gesture of the dinner or whatever he was planning. I'm like, okay, I appreciate the thought, but I really feel like it's important for us to go ahead and resolve our matters. So, when we're in a better place, we can go ahead and have dinner and have all the romantic things we want to. We just need to go ahead and either have these therapy sessions or these talks, and then we can focus on the good part. That was option one. Option two, take him up on his deal and whatever he has planned. Enjoy that for what it is. And then after the fact, the next day, the next week, and then, okay, oh, it was fun. We had a good time, had a good night. But yeah, we need to go ahead and address some of these issues. But do not be up in here wasting y'all's time. Wasting the time, wasting the meals. You had people over there catering to y'all, and you gonna go ahead and just low key ruin the moment. And Ralph was like, I regret this. I should never plan this. And Ralph, you didn't have the best intentions because you're just trying to cover up what you doing with that ass instant, okay? And yeah, it's a whole clusterfuck. And yeah, y'all, I'm annoyed because the episode ends with the Drew by herself eating at this table. I'm tired. It's the same old thing. They did this all season one. Argument, dinner time, somebody mad. Like, what is the whole point? You guys drop down in the comments. Let me know. Do y'all think this relationship role situation is fake? Do you think Drew is just head over heels with Ralph and just see stars and butterflies? Like, what is the deal? Because I need answers. Y'all not about to be up in here season after season stressing me out. I'm not doing it with y'all, okay? But y'all, that was pretty much the episode. It was very cute, of course. Not as good as episode one, but it's definitely very cute. I would give it a B minus if I had to grade it on a scale of, A to F. But yeah, please let me know what you think. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. And yeah, if you're not already a subscriber, lock in with your girl. And yeah, let's talk in the comments. Thank you for listening. Toodles.